That's my cousin Bobby.
Thank you, Chair. It's really encouraging to see you out this morning, this early, and I will try not to keep you very long. I have a friend by the name of Tony Intentionally who says keep it short. So he's going to grade me because I'm not going to be as short as he thinks I should be this morning. There are a couple of things that I want to say to you. Before I do that, I want to introduce some people, of course. Up here at the table, I would like to introduce my family, at least part of it's up here at the table. On the far end is my nephew, one of my nephews. It's a story. Aaron Hannigan saw her at the Merrill Gardens, and Diane said to Aaron, "You don't know me." She said, Diane did like this. She pulled the hair back. She said, "Oh, you're Osby's sister." So I told her, when I see somebody that don't know I'm her brother, I'll have a piece of hair that's there. Of course, I want to introduce my mother, Alberta Davis. She's the one with all those backhands. I got the message. It took a little while. Also, I want to, at the table up here, we have also Councilmember Sunga. I want to say, I have some other relatives here, I'm sorry. I have my cousin shaking his head. LaGuan and Cheryl Lee. I want to thank the Global Center for Success. I want to thank the organizers of this breakfast, all those who have worked, all those who have participated. Special thanks to the Nicholas family. That's my other family. I don't know what time we're getting to the Nicholas family. You know, Sid is a lot older than me, so he's the one who carried me to school. I can tell you some stories about him, but I won't tarnish his reputation. I also want to thank the King Cole. He is truly he always makes it a point to come out whenever I ask. And I really appreciate it. And thank you to every one of you who are here this morning. You are truly indicative of a caring spirit, of a giving spirit, and of a sacrificing spirit. You are every bit of what I call the spirit of Vallejo. The spirit of Vallejo gives even when they don't have.
Amen.
The spirit of Vallejo comes together and tries to work out the difficulties, even though it's hard at times. You know that many, many years ago, it wasn't really many, but I like to think of it as many, many years ago, when I came into office, we were struggling, we were gasping for life. We were struggling with our finances. We seemed to be a bit confused, and we were looking for a direction. And outside the city, people were saying things about us, and they still do in many occasions, about how hopeless the city was, and how bad things were. And inside the city, there were some people themselves that were talking about the problems in Vallejo and not seeing the glass as half full, but seeing the glass as half empty. And some of those abandoned the city and moved to other places looking for greener pastures. And surely they did not find any greener pastures because Vallejo did something that others are still trying to struggle to do right now. It dealt with reality. And the reality was that we needed to deal with our uncontrolled spending and get our financial house in order. Reality was that we needed to come together and move in a common direction for the benefit of everybody in our city. The elected officials, whether you like them or not, whether you like their philosophies or not, did what needed to be done to right the ship. Everyone on that council had to make some very difficult. That's what a structural deficit is. So we struggled with that, and we didn't want to do what we had to do with our employee contracts, but there was no way around it. And so we did that, and morale was down, and people were leaving in masses. But I'm here to tell you today that has all turned around. I'm here today to tell you that we're working with our employees. There's a new morale, that our employees have given and given and given more. And while we get so caught up in the numbers of bankruptcy, we forget about the lives of the people that we affect. Bankruptcy really shouldn't have been about numbers. It should have been about the lives. The people who work for the city of Vallejo, who provide services to you on a day in and a day out basis, who do more than they have the ability to do in normal circumstances. They give, and they continue to give. And even though they do that, we have a tendency not to recognize that they're doing more with less. They're still trying to provide the same type of services with less employees. But they keep giving, and I see those employees every day at City Hall. And whether you know it or not, and whether you get frustrated because you call and you get a voicemail instead of a voice, you shouldn't get frustrated because they're doing what they can. And they're doing a remarkable job for our city. Our city is on its way back. We are rebuilding. I think that the theme today rebuilding is an appropriate theme. We are rebuilding the structure of our city. We're rebuilding the employee morale in our city. We're rebuilding relationships among elected officials. We're talking about collaboration with our agencies. We're doing all the things necessary to make this city the best city in this country because that's what we see and nothing less. You have a council that sees the glass as half full and not half empty. You have a council that sees success on the waterfront. You have a council that sees success on Mare Island. You have a council that sees our public safety returning to where it once was. You have a council that sees our streets being repaired. You have a council that is concerned about the lives of people. And when I think about the spirit of Vallejo, I think about organizations like the Global Center for Success. I think about organizations like Reach Out, Vallejo Reach Out. I think about organizations like Rebuilding Together, Salem County. I think about all the volunteer organizations that feed people every single day, that clothe and house people every day, because that's what it's all about. There's a new norm for us right now. It is time for us to go back to where we started. And even though I call it a new norm, it's not a new norm. Because in the olden times, people took care of each other. But we've gotten to the point now where we expect government to take care of all the things that we have, and government cannot and will not ever be able to do that. That is where the Global Center for Success comes in. That is where Reach Out Vallejo comes in. That is where Vallejo Reach Out comes in. That is where all the organizations and the churches and the other organizations that feed, clothe, and house people, that change lives. That is where you come in. That's the new norm now we need to get back to. government will work on, and I pledge to you, and I'm sure my colleagues will pledge to you, our undying effort to rebuild our infrastructure in this city, to prepare our city for the success that's coming down the line, because right now is the time to do that. We, as you know, Measure B passed. In Measure B, we promised you that we wanted monies to re-establish our public safety, to fix our streets, to invest in economic development. And by a narrow margin, you said yes to that. And I pledge to you that we are going to do everything we can to put that money into new services, to fix our streets, to expand our public safety in our city, to do all the things necessary to make this a city that you once again stand up with your chest out and say, I'm proud to be from Vallejo. I don't remember a time when I wasn't proud to be from Vallejo. I've always been proud. And you know, when I see a challenge, it's just an opportunity. We have challenges and there are opportunities for all of us, but it takes all of us together to make it happen. You don't have to like everybody. You don't have to agree with the philosophy of everybody, but you have to recognize that everybody is a human being. Everybody deserves the right to eat, live, and to grow in our community. How can we talk about loving our neighbor and then watching someone go hungry? How can we talk about loving our neighbor and then watching someone who is without a job or without education? How can we look the other way and claim that we are a Christian nation, a nation of people who love people? We have a tremendous responsibility. I thank you for each of those organizations who have done their part and continue to do their part every single year. But don't just take part in the organizations that you agree with philosophically. If the motive is to benefit the citizens of Vallejo and this community, then you ought to be taking part, whether you agree with their philosophy or not. The motive is what matters, not their philosophy. And I will assist anybody who is about helping Vallejo move forward. Helping us to be a city. And so, what's your charge? Your charge is to get involved. It's the same thing I said to you last year. Your charge is to get involved. We have a number of things going on in our city. And let's not forget our schools. We have a superintendent who is dedicated to changing education in our community. He's dedicated to excellence in our community and is unwilling to accept anything less than excellence for all of our children. That we need to stand up against. We need to embrace our superintendent. We need to embrace the school board. We need to say, we agree with you. Change our schools. People want change, but they don't like the pain that goes along with it. Well, you're in the condition you're in because you kept doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And now someone comes along and says, I have a different way of doing it. You struggle because you don't like to be uncomfortable. Well, she's about saving our children. And I told her yesterday when I talked to her, you tell me where to go, I'm coming. And it has to do with education. Because I know that she has a heart for our children. And if she changes our educational system, it will change our city. Recognize that we're all in this together. There is no us and them. It's all of us. It will take every one of us collectively working together to make the city what it's going to be. Everybody has a part, no matter how small, no matter how big. And all of them are important. And I'm calling on each one of you to come together to join organizations that are about, and I don't mean becoming a member, to join in the work of organizations that are about bettering our city. Because that's what it's going to take to make this city the city that I know it is and can be. Thank you very much.